I am calling all master manifestors. Give yourself permission to do the things you need to do to align with your soul's vision and to increase your capacity, your love, peace, joy, vision, your gratitude, and have growth and expansion. After seeing this, you'll know how a much improved frequency for abundance and manifestation comes out of what you do for yourself once you give yourself permission. It's about owning your own sovereignty. This image on the screen, I will talk about it at the end. It's part of the process that I did. Everybody has their own process. And I want to show you what I did for myself, and then maybe you can see what you might do for yourself. About 2 years ago, I went for a modern day walkabout. I was entering a different stage of my life where my children were adult and I was newly single. I tuned deep inside my soul, and my soul and I came up with a plan, which I followed. Because if I follow this plan that I do with my soul, then my vision is in alignment with my soul and everything happens easier and faster. I sold my house, my car, I quit my job, and I put my belongings in storage. Many people were curious to know what I was doing, so I created a travel blog for them. This trip is a sacred trip. And I say is a sacred trip, even though I started a couple of years ago, but I'm still doing it right now. I am still on this trip. Once you're in alignment, you go with the flow and you go where you feel you need to be. I did not know at the time how long I would be gone. I was hoping I was going to do as much as I could for myself. The interesting thing is once I left North America for Asia, synchronicities increased a lot. First, I went to Kyoto, Japan, and I chose that place because I wanted to go to Mount Kurama, where Yusui got his Reiki attunement. That was very important for me. So this is a shrine on Mount Kurama, and it's sacred geometry, as you can see where I'm standing. There's a lot of beautiful energies that come in and just clear your field. What's interesting is you can do this from home, but it's not the same as being in contact with the different masters you're going to meet along the way. If you're on a sacred journey, there are things that happen and things that people will tell you that you don't get at home because the journey is also part of your process. What's interesting is when I stood on this spot, people would come and talk to me. So I met this guy. I met a lot of people in many different places, but this mountain was pretty magical in itself. This was the spot where I brought people to connect with the energies. And it was so interesting that as we're walking, they could feel the energy and they were saying it. At one time, I did feel another interesting thing that was very fascinating while I was walking with a person. All of a sudden, I felt an attunement. And then I turned to her and I said, "Did you feel that?" And she said, "No." And I said, "There's like an attunement that just happened." And while I was saying that, she got it too. So my point is, these are the places I needed to go. My vibration went up a lot. And that is so important. This is what my guide told me was called a God tree. It's a tree with a spirit in it. And the interesting thing is that as soon as she told me that, part of me just dismissed it. But I had a bottle of water in my hand. And as soon as I'm like, I will see if there's a spirit in there, it was knocked out of my hand. So energetically, it was knocked out of my hand and fell on the ground. So it helped me believe. And after that, I could feel the energy of the trees. These trees are so high and they connect to the universe. They're bringing in energy from the universe to the earth. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. These trees are surrounded by something to point out that they're God trees, but it's not just in Japan. I see those in Thailand. I see them in different places. Everybody has their own way to decorate it or protect it, but there are trees that you do not touch, you do not chop down. Once they fall, you leave them there. So to make it quick, I met a lot of people and I got a taste of many things in Japan. And then even they made me do karaoke. You'll find that if you do travel, wherever you go and the people you meet, they want to make sure you experience things. Next, I was off to Thailand for a month-long yoga teacher training course. I wanted to understand the spiritual side of yoga even more. I did not just want to do stretching. I wanted to understand what's in the background, what the yogis are doing and why. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it all the time, but at least I have a better understanding that when someone's talking about it, I can connect the dots even more. I did not have much experience in yoga before the course, but it was an alignment in what my soul had planned for me. The yoga teachers who were very experienced told me where to go in India to experience this bliss energy, but I had other plans first. My soul was saying I had to learn about Qigong, so I took one-on-one classes. Now, my teacher is a Qigong and a Kung Fu master, and she was taught this at a very young age, where she said she would go at school and dance and come home, and she would have to do the fighting with other people. That was part of her training, which was quite different than a North American person. Anyways, just being around her was pretty amazing. And one day she told me to go visit the Buddha relics that were in town from India. So I did. And I got quite the energetic attunement when I was there. The energy was amazing. And I really feel this stuff and I really follow it. I mentioned the bliss energy before, but I followed this energy, and I highly recommend that you do the same for yourself. Once I completed 2 levels of Qigong, and I went to Rishikesh, India, and I stayed 28 days in an Ayurvedic center to detox. The detox is not just physical body, but it's mind, body, spirit, and soul. And just being in this environment, my vibration went up a lot through this process. Number one, because of the food. It was very clean food. Number two, we did yoga to connect with the universe, which is ourself, and to bring up our energy. And there were a lot of ways to do that, in addition to all the cleansing and different things they did to help you clean out. It was another fantastic experience that helped me connect to not just the energies that I did before, but the Krishna energies. Put those together, and my ability to channel increased a lot over the last few months. It just keeps increasing over and over and over. Also, what's fascinating is I met so many people from many different places in the world doing similar things. They value the freedom they have to do this, and they're working to have a better life also. This image of me is part of a process that you do at the center every few days. And what they do is they make it so that nothing leaks out, and they pour either warm oil with medicated herbs or ghee. It goes in your eyes, and your eyes are open, but it's very, very freaky. But anyways, it does a lot of healing. It's something I'm glad I experienced. So I will say it's not always easy sticking to your principles, but in the end, the result is truly worth it. So there's so much more to my story, but I think that's enough for now. What I want to say is I shifted a lot on my modern day walkabout. I let go of a lot of loneliness. I learned the intricacies of surrendering, and I was guided by many masters. So to meet the masters, I had to put myself in their environment. And once they got to know me, they are showing me things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. And that's kind of how life works. You got to put yourself out there. So for me, life changed a lot. There's no going back. So this is my 3rd year where I lived in Canada during the summer and nice, beautiful, warm countries in the winter. This is not something that I experienced for a while. I love the snow, but when it's minus 35, I thought, you know what? It's kind of taking my life force energy. I would like to be elsewhere if I had a choice. And somehow it worked out. I met someone a couple of years ago. We've been together. We have a lot of fun. Just a completely different lifestyle. But what I want to say is, I hope you notice all the places where I pointed out my vibration went up and the increase in abundance that I have and how my life shifted. Now you can see what giving myself permission gave me. Then maybe it's something you want to do for yourself. There's no specific way to do any of this because it's all individual to each person. For me, I got a better life back. I came into more alignment, and that significantly increased the flow of abundance. Plus, I learned a lot of things about what people do differently in different parts of the world. So I love every moment of my life, and I help other people do it for themselves. Everything that I went through were things that I needed to let go of or desires that were fulfilled. And it's amazing to watch how the universe meets you at every level. If I step up my game, so did the universe. So it felt like there's a reward for me. It's rewarding inside. Nobody can give that to you except for yourself. Does this sound like something that intrigues you? So if you're aware of your potential from that silent voice deep inside that keeps getting stronger and louder, and you want to explore it further, I've created a guide that includes the 5 core traits of people who have exponentially increased their capacity for abundance by giving themselves full permission to align with their soul's vision. Comment abundance plus plus, and I will provide it to you in a DM. By the way, my name's Al Dene, and I'm the Spiritual Abundance Coach. See you next time.